this has
And
gotten
ours
started, but
from-
they'd missed
Yeah.
a step, so
uh,
I just
uh,
closed
Oh,
everything
yeah,
out and
yeah.
started over.
Yeah, they said,
And,
they finally did all the
Once I hit
testing, to
play,
figure out that's what I had.
good.
And, some said, well, your donor had a history of that. We knew that. And we actually had been treating him for it the whole time. So, just.
Thanks for the info, huh?
More investment.
Yeah, and they stopped at the first part of December because we figured it was fine, after that period of time,
Yeah.
good to go. Week later.
That's
I
when
had-
they did, merchants did their presentation on yesterday, told them not to
Yeah,
unplug
that's
anything or
crazy,
move
man.
anything.
And
but
you
not
inherited that right through him because of the donation. Huh?
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Should be HDMI one. I don't know if we can change the input on the remote. They probably put it into the number 2 port yesterday and changed the input. It's not gonna affect what people see. They're doing it live. Just looking for the input button.
up in the top, right, that little.
See that as an
Hold on, I gotta change it out.
Yeah, that's right.
oh shoot. I'll stop.
Go up to live screen, or
Yeah,
live stream, or down to it.
yeah,
Share.
should be there.
Should've been okay. There. Change,
We'll change that one later.
hey, we're live,
That'll work.
hey, we're live right
Somebody.
now,
Okay, it's live.
it's live, can leave us that.
3 minutes yet.
There we go. Wait, we'll wait for Mr. Blessinger and then we'll start. Didn't ask me for my. Didn't ask me for a code today. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We have everybody here stand for the pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father God, thank you for those board members that are here today and for their commitment to this city. And also thank you for the employees that are presenting and ask that during this meeting today that you may open our hearts and minds, and that decisions we make here are for all the citizens of Huntingburg. For these things we ask in your son's name. Amen. Everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Do we have a motion to accept?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes. I'll second.
Got a first, second, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion carries. Claims, I know we sent those around. Has everybody had a chance to look at those? If so, I'll entertain a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
So we got a first, Dan's second, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. right now, this is probably, Phil has a document right now, but the last council meeting, we did, was approved for the Patoka Township Fire Protection Agreement that we have to present today. So Phil.
Yeah, this is an annual agreement that we enter into with Patoka Township, providing them with fire protection. They pay $26,000 a year for that, and the council approved it at its last meeting, and it's now being circulated for your signatures today.
And I think everybody here understands, but there is a fund where they do purchase, that some equipment has been purchased by the township, and a truck recently they did purchase for us. So there's other things with the agreement other than just that annual fee. So, yeah, thank you. Any questions on that?
I noticed that the Heraldville reported that the council meeting as being a fire agreement for Patoka Lake. It is Patoka Township.
Actually, I had two in my list. As that's being passed around, I've asked for Street Superintendent Jason Stamm. Got change order number 3.
Good
This will
morning.
finish that contract, is that correct? We should finish.
That
it.
is correct.
That's the last thing
um,
we have.
First thing there that, like the mayor mentioned, I do have a change order number 3 from Jaminski Contracting for the Community Crossing Project number 1, 2024-02. That should close out that project. This change order is actually an addition change order, or a deduct change order, sorry, for $1,150.94. So that will, like I said, when we sign off on that, after this meeting, I believe the last invoice for that should be paid, and we should be finished with that project then. Any questions on that?
So they didn't do the work, or they just did it?
Some of this
Like-
stuff that was removed was like extra pipe.
Okay.
There was some,
So that's a
Oh,
quantity
let's
bid
see.
that we just remove quantities from the
right,
contract. Okay.
yeah, that's basically what all this was removal of things that weren't used
Okay.
and that wasn't needed.
Well, I'd definitely make a motion to accept the deduct. So
I'll second it.
we got a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay,
Thank
couple of things. We did open bids for Community Crossing Project 26, CCMG 2026. We did have four bids on that project. The engineer's estimate on that project was $354,474.52. That was the amount that we were awarded from NDOT for this contract. The low bidder for the project was J.H. Rudolph at $217,432.40. Which is basically $137,042.12 under the estimate or the awarded amount. So my recommendation to the board would be that we award CCMG 2026 to J.H. Rudolph.
What was the amount again?
$217,432.40.
That was substantially below all bids, so it was
Yes.
reviewed very closely. Actually, most bids came in at the estimate, or close to
Real
it.
close to it. Yeah, they were all under the estimate, but they were, the other ones, a couple of them were, well, all 3 of them were relatively close to
So
it.
kind of what happens at this point, even though we were awarded more, is as we finish these projects and there's another round, we can apply for the difference in the next round. And so we'll definitely apply for the max of 1 million, get as close to $1 million max.
Which we did in this round too. We just weren't awarded we had three separate, contracts or our line item projects that we were bidding. We were awarded one of the three. You really have to feel fortunate that we got the one, cause some didn't get any.
Around here, I think Tell City, Bicknell, most of the counties received what they bid.
They all, yeah.
No other community in Du Bois County received anything that they asked for.
No.
In fact, surrounding counties, I think Tell City was the closest one to actually receive money. So this was kind of a Southern Indiana thing. We saw a lot of groups in Southern Indiana didn't get funded with what they asked for. Cause Jasper didn't get anything, so.
No.
Felt fortunate we got something.
And this one, this is the a change in the community crossings. It used to be 75-25, and now they changed it to 80-20. So the city's only has to pay 20% of the contract instead of 25.
So we'll have about 43,500 in that range that will be our match, on this bid.
Any questions on that? So that would be my recommendation, is that we award that to J.H. Rudolph then.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Next item was, we did, I don't know if you've seen, but we did finish the ditch cleaning on Second Avenue from Geiger to Van Buren. Cooper Rail was in there. They supplied the track hoe to do that. We supplied the dump trucks to haul off all the dirt. That project is complete. The total bill for that, which wasn't in your claims this time, will be in the next ones. But the total price for that was $2,930. So,
It was a lot less than you thought, wasn't
yeah, which, I mean, we didn't know,
Yeah.
I mean, when they start digging, you just don't know how long it's gonna take. So I was very pleased with that, with that amount. So
What was the
with
final
that,
total again? I'm sorry.
$2,930. So with that,
it? Lucky.
I come to you and ask for permission to get quotes to continue that same ditch, but only go from the north side of the First Street bridge. So it would be just, like I said, on the left-hand side as you're going down of the bridge, and continue and go all the way out past the wastewater plant and clean that ditch from there on out. The one they just completed was 1,900 feet. That ditch down there is 2,500 feet. So it's a little bit longer, but I also think it'll be a little bit easier because if you give me permission to do this, I will try to get a hold of that landowner that owns that field down there. And basically when we dip that out, just put that out in his field. And cause I know farmers, they don't usually mind that. So Gerald Hossenar is who owns that, and I would get with him to see if he would give us permission to do that. But I think if we can get, that ditch is relatively the same as the one that we cleaned out, as far as the islands and stuff in there. Brad sees that all the time. He drives down to his plant and can see it. But it needs to be cleaned too. I think that'll help get the water out of town a little bit quicker too. So, basically what I'm just asking today is for permission to do that. I would basically do it the same way I did the first one. I'd write up a little job description of it, send it to the same guys that quoted the last one, let them quote it again, and then come back to you guys with the prices at the March meeting.
This is probably gonna fall under based upon what they did there, the $10,000 threshold. I don't know if you would be open so we can move this along early in the spring, get it on the calendar, taking the quotes and prove it not to exceed number before they came back to you. So they were able to get it for 4,000 or something. Would you be okay in just approving that today?
Would be okay with that, yes.
Yeah, just do it.
Throw out a number. I'm throwing out 4,000.
I mean, looking at the number that they had, like I said, that was 2,900, just say
Well, let's
3,000.
It's probably gonna be about 4,500.
Yeah, I would say if you said not to exceed like 6, I would think that would be, now we had some cost in it with their trucking, but that was, in our, that's not related in that number. This is just the number that it costs for the contractor. And this next one, we wouldn't have any cost in it basically, because if they just throw it in the field.
I would be open to a motion with some threshold from one of the members if somebody wants to make that motion.
I'll make a motion, we not to exceed 6,000.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Okay, I'll go ahead and send that out like I did the last time, like I said, to those same contractors and let them have the opportunity to bid or to quote that one.
Do you
For-
think, down the road that it's worth trying to do something with the other section of that ditch? I mean, I know we don't have right of ways right now, but
That's the key. From where we stop to where we're starting, the landowners own to the middle of the ditch.
that would be probably a hassle to
Hmm.
be able to get right away, wouldn't it? to be able to-
Utilizing the Traco and you had some fences in through there.
That's,
You'd know
yeah,
better than
I
I
mean,
would, Dustin.
yeah, from my standpoint, yes. I mean, Phil might be able to speak on behalf of that a little bit.
I do
because-
know that one of them houses got trees removed. That should help.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of restriction.
There
to that.
is, there's some people have put concrete and riprap and different things in there in the past, to try to help with the erosion part of it. Yeah, we would have to acquire,
Right of entry, yeah. we
Yeah.
gotta get consent of landowners to enter onto their property. They own to the center of the ditch.
And
It's
the-
all
and-
Private property.
yeah, and the problem, I mean, you can imagine taking a big track hoe. And that's what it takes to do that, to reach from side to side, to take a big track hoe down through there, you're gonna tear up, quite a bit.
I guess as long as it's not causing big problems, we can.
There's no way to get into the actual bed itself with a smaller piece of equipment? Like a Bobcat or
I've
something?
thought about that too, because some places that ditch is big enough to work.
You
in the
could
bottom.
possibly with a smaller piece of equipment,
Still
I don't-
gonna have to haul it away.
Yeah.
yeah, that's, yeah. Yeah,
You need something.
I mean, right
tall
now, I
enough.
don't think we have a glaring problem in that section. But, if it does arrive, then yeah, we'll definitely.
It's probably
have
gonna have to be done at some point.
Yeah, I
But-
noticed a lot of those landowners, not all of them, but some of them along that stretch, dump their grass clippings and everything
Yeah,
out in the ditch.
Yeah, limbs,
Help things, limbs.
so,
And they own the ditch to the center, so there's not
yeah, right.
No, I don't think it has to go to bid, I'm not sure.
a lot we can do to control
I
that.
think
Well,
has to go to
it is a
bid.
surface drain and they can't block it.
Yeah.
By law, they cannot block, you can't block a surface drain even if it's
Yes.
on your property, but we can't get onto their property without their permission.
Right. So, okay. The only other thing that I wanted to mention in the meeting was I want to, say a big thank you to all of the departments,
Just did hourly rate.
especially the park guys. We plowed snow this last snowstorm for basically 24 hours straight, actually a little more. And the park had 3 guys that came in and helped split time up with our guys so that they didn't have to work more than basically 12 hours at a time. So I just wanted to say a thank you to them. And like I said, to all the departments, because they were all very helpful in doing, snow removal throughout the city.
Did a fantastic job.
Yeah, I'll say thank you to you and all them guys too, because I've heard a lot of nice compliments about it.
It's good. We appreciate it. I mean, we
I think we
tried.
ended up with Plan C in the end, but we
Yeah.
started out with a plan. Yeah, I'll just reiterate, because we had, the wastewater, the water department, we had the energy department. What a lot of people don't realize, we have the police department and fire departments and ambulances that had to be cleaned continually. And it's hard to do for the street department without the help of the other departments doing that. Getting emergency vehicles out is something that they don't have to worry about, even though they did a portion of the fire department themselves, but a lot of that work is done by their departments.
And we are, just so you guys have know in the loop of what's going on, we do have the county has a possibility of getting some money back from FEMA for this. I had to turn in a rough number, yesterday by 8 o'clock. Basically, what I was told by EMA office was the county has to reach a threshold of $212,000. And if the county reaches that, then they get on the board to be eligible for it. I talked to Jeff Tising yesterday at an event out at the event center. And with his number and my number, I don't see how we won't get to that 212. That could be a plus, if we get to that point. So
There is a form we fill out every truck, how many hours, the size of the truck. FEMA has a number applied to that, what those costs are, plus any fuel costs, labor, incidental labor, overtime, those type of things that fall into it. It's an exact calculation that we have to use, that we utilize those numbers. So, we have the forms ready. We just need to now fill in the numbers if we become eligible.
that's all I got.
So would you get just a percentage back then, or is that?
We get anything that's
Yeah,
allowable by FEMA.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really, they haven't really specified how or what. They're just now trying to figure out who's gonna be eligible for it. And I think once they figure out who's gonna be eligible for it, if they have a certain dollar amount they're willing to give, then, then it could be based off of that. I don't know. Anything else?
Some trucks are $30 an hour, some are 65 an hour. It's a formula. Because the president and the governor both declared disaster areas right away, that made us eligible for the FEMA money. So as long as we hit the threshold, which easily we're going to. And that's okay. Wastewater Superintendent Brad Coomer. You're always coming up with quotes up here.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Any questions on the report? Nope. One thing, most of you know by now, USDA RD did approve the change order for the centrifuge building. That is moving. Reynolds has actually ordered material and rebar and everything, and coming up with a plan to start removing our existing storage pad. With that, moving forward, I did get quotes. You guys approved the last meeting I think it was in December, for a storage building for the sludge. All of them are attached. The lowest bid was Davies County at $148,556.14. I would like approval to move forward with that. That's just the building. We were looking at doing concrete, raising that concrete floor up in the drying beds, but we're gonna save that money and do that in-house and just pour the strips ourselves and then up at the building. Right there.
Significant difference in the quotes. You satisfied with the specs they gave you?
I'm sorry.
There are significant differences in.
Some of them, the building, some of them are labor. Davies County's close. B and A was real close. K and B, they did a stick frame and then they did a metal truss frame. Just for the buildings, and their labor was they were a little bit higher, but B and A and Davies County were pretty close. And both of them were down there looking at it. Any questions on that
Was the building a part of the approval from the RDA?
for the project?
Yes.
Yes, it is in there to possibly get reimbursed. We do have other equipment too. So once we get the contingency funds done, when the project looks like we'll have about $250,000. So if we need a piece of equipment, or if we want to get reimbursed for the building or something like that.
So you're running under budget right now, so you can get this in there?
Yes, possibly.
in the loan?
They'll have to approve it.
Yeah, they have to prove
As
any.
of now, we will use.
Their
it out of
engineers
my
had to prove
budget.
change orders. When they look at the
If they
change
don't,
orders.
it's gonna come from your budget, right?
Yeah, I'll pay it out of my budget now and get it paid for, and then once the project's done, we can submit and see if they'll change it. If not, I mean, we'll have to sit down and see if we want to get some equipment or if we want to get reimbursed for the building.
Our RD will check to make sure that, it was a necessary item and it qualifies under that, and also value engineering was completed. We're using.
It was all in the project.
So we have
As
to
long
look
as
at
it
but it
took
was,
to get.
it
the
was
center
originally
tube
in the
building
plan, so we are under budget.
approved.
That's the good thing.
For the project, can we get, do they have a copy of, the, estimated cost or of the whole project and versus current where we're at, where we stand right now?
I can get that.
Pardon?
I'll get with that with the engineers and see if we can get that to you.
Yeah, see where we're at.
Yeah.
Um,
He
Be
sent me an
interesting
email on
So we know where
Tuesday,
we're keeping track, you know.
Tuesday evening, and it was right at about $250,000 under.
Actual
our
versus
contingency.
budget, you know, is what I'm asking in
Yeah.
contingency.
Yes.
Yeah, and on the pay applications, they do list most of that information is on there, on the pay applications.
But Eric ran the
We
numbers
run
on
through here.
Tuesday, I
Eric
believe.
should have a spreadsheet, shouldn't
They're right on the front.
He ran the numbers, sent me an email on Tuesday evening, and it was $250,000.
he? Okay, can we get that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve Davies County Metal Storage Building for sludge.
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Moving on, the electrical building is almost complete. If anybody wants to come down there, let me know. We can look at it. The paint's done, floor is polished, trimmed, everything. The painters did their final touch up yesterday. And then they were cleaning and putting some paper down, so keep the dirt off the floor and everything like that. OFS will be here Monday, setting up furniture. So that'll be moving along. And then warmer weather, they're back out working on the SBR on the headworks up top. They got another pour. Hopefully it'll be warm next week. They can do another pour, and that should wrap that up. And then they'll start setting everything inside the tanks and then all the piping out underneath the wall. So if you want to come down, check it out, let me know. Any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Brad. Police Chief Brad Kramer.
Morning.
Good morning.
Any questions on the report?
People were supposed to be staying home. Didn't look like they did, huh? There's a lot of
No.
action there.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple things. The Officer Brown and Begley have started the academy. Like I said last time, they'll be out towards the end of May. We'll have them back, and back on the road. I've been talking to Allison out at the senior center. We've got a couple presentations out there for our seniors, 2 next month. And then we're working on a schedule to go forward from there, over just covering different topics about safety and scams and frauds and stuff like that. Then we'll be meeting with Donnie to work on the summer kids camp as well, starting that process up. So we're looking forward to that this year again. But the last thing I have, permission to seek quotes for a truck, a 2026 Ram. Some of the issues that we run into is things that we have to carry. We've got DT mats that we take out to the school. We store them at our office because we can't leave them out at the school. But right now we're using a personal vehicle to get them from the office to the school. We can use another truck from another department, but it's very inconvenient for us to inconvenience them. It just takes one of their trucks out of their day. So, and then as far as just getting things from to the range, they would help out with that. Our targets, we store a bunch of targets at the office. We store a bunch down there. any kind of supplies that we would need. So,
How many vehicles did you have in your budget for this year?
two.
Two.
Yeah, and actually, when I checked into the pricing of last year for the budget, the truck is actually cheaper than the Durango. I don't know how. It
Does this have
is.
to be a closed bed, a closed bed for that kind of equipment?
Yeah, it would have a topper on it. That way if it is raining, we can throw stuff in there and it's not getting soaking wet, or in the weather. But so. And we would trade in a 2016 Charger, on this if we're able to get it.
So would you use that just to move stuff, or would you actually put lights and?
Yeah,
stuff
it
on
would be fully upfitted, just like a regular vehicle. It would have everything that the Durango has in it now to where it can be used on the road. It's not just a truck to have. It would be used.
They can
So.
still do traffic and everything else.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it'd be fully upfitted. So. Just asking for permission to seek quotes for that.
we hear a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
So we got a first and second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
So I
Seems-
got, you might have
Seems
got,
like the county and the city is pretty accident-free with this weather occurrence.
yeah, shockingly, when majority of it came down, a lot of people, I mean, we had a few accidents here and there. I think we had 2 or 3 that we responded to specifically because of the snow event. But shockingly, it was, people stayed home, so,
Fortunately, we didn't have ice. That's-
yeah, that too. But,
Thank you.
all right,
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. Fire Chief, Don Hine.
Are there
I,
any
uh,
questions with the report?
I think we're, probably need to address that the trend is continuing. We get with 36 total runs.
Yeah, no, it hasn't stopped. It's
It
been a-
hasn't stopped, and that's been a thing where we did have to make some, this is more of a council issue, but changes or reapportioning some of our budget last year to be able to pay for those responses, but it's not slowing.
No, it's been a year and a half of these numbers, so,
And
we
seeing
continue
it
to stay.
countywide too for, so.
Yeah.
Something in there.
Right now, an update on our rescue truck. The low bid was Sternberg's at $8,500. However, when they got it apart, the ring gear, was missing teeth. He said, "You want me to replace it while it's tore apart?" And that's gonna save money, because otherwise we'd have all the labor again. So, it was another $1,100, but it still came under what all the other quotes were. So, it is back in service, and we got it back on Friday, but it was out for a while. And other than that, I mean, I don't really have anything besides just the updates of what's been going on, unless you have any questions.
Chief and I will be working, he's had a plan of when we look at truck replacement, long-term, what do we need to do over the next 3 to 5 years? And we can definitely figure out what trucks and how much it's gonna cost, most economical way to do that. What is more difficult to do is figure out where the income is coming from to do that. So we're looking at options now. We have a meeting with, here next week, I believe,
I think today.
today. Yeah, it is this
Today,
afternoon.
this
Okay.
afternoon.
And we'll be talking to a couple different funding options and seeing what we can do, what's available to us. And hopefully we can report something back in maybe a couple months before we report back, but
If there's no further
we're getting
questions.
some age. We have,
Yeah, we have some age. I don't have anything else.
some of the trucks are older than some of our volunteers, so, it's, they're getting that old. Planning Director Paul Lake.
Everybody received the reports? Any questions? Typical January for building permits, code enforcement, typical January pretty well, if you look back over time at what we've done during the month of January. The weather, obviously, some of the deadlines that we had set out where we give somebody 10 days or 12 days to comply with something, the weather comes into effect on some of the stuff outside. So we'll be a little bit, we'll relax that date on when we'll go back and check until the snow's gone, they get to stuff. So
We want to address Jackson Street.
any questions?
Well, I guess.
That's all, I was gonna ask about that, the house on Jackson, what's the story with that?
That's right.
You approved bids was it last meeting they approved the bids? And so the contractor's been awarded, contractor signed the contract, and I'm not sure when he's scheduled to start.
Notice to proceed was
2 weeks.
week, next Monday.
Okay. So, in the meantime, of course, as you may recall, there was a tax sale, after the order to demolish was entered and recorded. And the tax sale purchaser reached out and asked, if they could have an additional week, until February 16. I'm not sure if you had a chance to talk to the contractor.
I talked to the contractor, asked them if they would put it off. They basically told me they had the dumpsters set up to be delivered next, Monday. And he said that he would get with the developer, that's who it was, to see if they could push it back.
They wanted, their tax purchaser wanted to explore some options that they might have to recover their bid. They bid for almost $40,000. So somebody must have been bidding it up at the tax sale, because the taxes were only the delinquent taxes were only about $7,500. So it must have been bid up at the tax sale.
So they tried,
Nonetheless, the attorney for the tax sale purchaser called me, and he acknowledged it's buyer beware at a tax sale, and our order was recorded prior to the sale. But they just asked if they have 1 week delay. I think they want to explore whether or not the county would be willing to rescind the tax sale and refund their money, but I don't know. That's between them and the county.
so they're trying to save the house then, or?
No,
No.
that's the other option, but they realize if they were to come before the board and ask for additional time to save the house, and they spend money on the house, the record owner could come in and redeem the taxes, and their money would be lost. Whatever they put into the house would be lost. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think they're gonna do that. Their only hope is exploring the possibility of having a tax sale rescinded, because of the order to demolish.
Credit to Phil and Paul. They did everything right. They did it timely, prior to the sale. Had everything recorded prior to the sale, ensure that we were covered, legally, and reduce our liability on that. But so everything was done the way it should have been done. So, delaying it would only be a courtesy.
Yeah.
It's not required, so.
The tax sale purchaser is out of New Jersey. They're a company that purchases properties at tax sale all over the United States. It's just an investment for them. Because if the property owner wants to redeem the property, they have to pay 110% to the tax sale purchaser, 110% of the delinquent taxes, and an additional and the amount of the surplus that was bid plus 5% of the surplus. If they redeem it after I think it's 6 months, they have a year to redeem it, but if they redeem it after 6 months, it's 115% of the delinquent taxes and another 5% of the surplus. So, conceivably a tax sale purchaser will earn 15 to 20% on their bid if somebody comes in and redeems the property. That's why they do it. So
If you're
I don't have a lot of sympathy for them because they know the risks. Yeah.
And there was one of the reasons why there was a real push in July and August to get everything and notifications out to the property owners before that tax sale, because if we'd hit that tax sale and we had not had the affirmation from the Board of Public Works and Safety at your September 4th meeting, we would be at least a year out before we could do anything.
This is another reason for the vacant building ordinance that we're gonna present to the council this coming month is really, these buildings are being robbed by people on the East Coast, West Coast. They're okay with having inventory sitting there. We're not okay with inventory sitting there. And they assume a lot of times I'm gonna assume that they do that any lot is, building lots worth 40,000. They don't know our prices here probably. Why they pay that much. Again, they do get a percentage of that premium off of the buyer if they call it back, but it's a gamble. It's playing the lottery essentially, but they do well with it, most of these companies, but they're gonna be in New Jersey, they're gonna be in California. And we're trying to really stop that. We like local investors, local owners that maintain and take care of the properties.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Paul.
Vector safety,
Good morning.
health fair next week.
2 weeks, I think, right? The 19th.
Yeah, 19th, you're
Yeah.
right, 2 weeks.
Next week is a
Didn't mean
little-
to, didn't mean to scare you there.
Next week's soon, yeah.
Uh,
So, yeah, we're moving right along on that, and we had a meeting yesterday for planning, so we're ready for all of that. We just have to do all the little details. So,
You're gonna be working on the ADA update for the
Mhm.
streets and the crosswalks and
Yep.
updating the inventory and the reporting for that. You wanna talk about the gym any?
just briefly, we're just talking about funding, and Brad Rusty and Kinley and I have been talking about an employee gym. And I think it would be very beneficial for, the police officers. Brad kind of brought it up first, and I think just from a safety and a health aspect, we have Courtney in here monthly who, does weight checks, blood pressure checks, all of that stuff. And I think it would be a good add-on that the employees could use.
We've
And it
noticed
would-
that those employees that are active and utilize the gyms are more likely to return to work after an accident
Yeah.
or not miss work as a result of an
Yeah.
accident and
Yeah.
having, workman comp, reducing workman comp claim, but also, Jasper has one now that they utilize for all their employees at the senior center. We're looking at maybe something slightly different or better, but yeah. And working on the location and
Yeah.
donations and whatever we can to make it
Early
happen.
stages, but yeah,
So you're trying to get donations for this?
yes.
Why, you want to give some money?
Well, I was gonna say, with all the infrastructure stuff we have to take care of.
Yeah.
I question spending money. I mean, I understand the need
Yes,
for it
yeah,
100%. But,
Yeah.
Possibility.
we got a lot of other priorities also,
Yes,
and,
yeah,
and,
Yeah, we do.
I
It's-
hope we take that into consideration for the
Is there a
city.
possibility of working out a membership, with YMCA or something like that, where those facilities could be utilized?
It has been, just talking with employees, a
Yeah,
lot of them
gym-
have memberships there and they don't go because of the distance and,
Yeah.
being able to get off work in Huntingburg and work out before you leave or work out before you come to work
Mhm.
has been kind of the thing, having a 24-hour gym that's within the city, that can be used, but, I got a Y membership and I don't know what the front door looks like, so, I'll just admit it.
I mean,
Uh,
I don't think with donations that you're not talking a lot of money to do something. The biggest thing is figuring out, where to put it.
Yeah, we're probably 50,000 or so in equipment and,
Well, but I think you can get a lot of donations for
Yeah.
that too.
yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it'll be that expensive.
Yeah.
And I think it would be a good thing for the city employees.
so we've got layout and list of equipment and everything, so we're finalizing just some quotes on what we would need electrical wise and bathroom wise and all of that stuff, so, very, very early stages, but
It's
something
not taking
that-
up a lot of time either,
Yeah.
so we're not.
something that we're kind of
It's-
excited about if we can figure out how
It's,
to.
it's a project that you work on when you have time to talk about it, so it's not, we're not shoving other things to the side.
Yeah.
But it's something that our employees have asked for, several groups have asked for it. In our utility, our police department both, and, so, if our employees see a need and let's see if we can fulfill it and still meet our budgets and not make it,
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
city attorney,
I have nothing.
clerk treasurer, you have something?
No.
No. One thing I do want to just bring up here, we're going to get together, January has been crazy, December was crazy, but Jason and I will get together. We want to bring the engineer in next month at your meeting and supply some options, some pricing and things for Fourth Street, the stuff you asked for. And couldn't really get together frankly, this month and get anything compared quickly enough, but I think we've heard everything. If you want to have any options considered, I know Jason's talked to some of you already, but give us an idea so we'll make sure we're taking everything into consideration. We're hoping that a large portion of that could be funded through the endowment that we presently have for there. We'll find out in March what our endowment numbers are for last year. But we're pulling, endowment's going up about 28 grand a year. I think we're at 94 at the beginning of 2024. So it's probably going to be around 150 or so, depending on what their return on investment is. There is about $80,000 in the endowment, but we get a percentage of it on an annual basis. 4% actually of the endowment. So and then after that, we have a council member here. They'll have to find the rest of the money. I'll have to find the rest of it. But we'll get some numbers together for you. There's with the other options, talking asphalt and doing the concrete and whatever, put everything together. The biggest question we have, because originally that was built with drainage, is, we have a 2% slope from the parking to the center. But the permeable, probably 25 to 30% of the water right now, but probably going through those permeable pavers and down inside there. So we'll lose that portion of it. What can we handle from that point? I don't know. I think the worst thing that happens from the design standpoint is the fact that the sidewalk and parking are, a little above that if it does flood. I guess worst thing we'll have is a puddle in the middle of 4th Street. At least won't be flooding the businesses as it used to, because used to go from the street towards the business.
The 2% grade is standard for any street in the city,
Yeah.
correct? And that's
Well, it's
what's out-
actually
that's
better
what's
than
out
some
there.
of our streets.
Ours is just inverted instead of, I mean,
It's better than some.
and then the other question I have too, which Jason can get for us, that drainage, I understand the permeability and all that, but that pipe, the drainage they got, I mean, when that was designed, I'm sure they typically design on a 100-year flood anyway. So it doesn't matter whether it's coming in here or here. Is that not correct?
Well, yeah, it goes through both, but
So that's
well,
what, that's what it's designed for.
yeah, the difference is the way where they use Deltap numbers or they used actual 100-year flood numbers.
Oh.
There are, you
The
can
rate of
say,
runoff,
yeah.
that's right.
If
But
you say 100-year rain, there's 2 interpretations of that. We're finding out that we're having 2 or 3 of those every about 3 years. Well, about every year we have a 100-year flood. I mean, 6 years ago we had a 1,000-year rain.
that's why we had to move you, I guess.
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
But this system has withstood those
Yeah.
events. I mean,
It-
we haven't had a flooding incident on Fourth
If
Street.
you go to 4th Street now and you go after rain, there are no puddles. I mean, it is working.
Even though there
That's
are,
one thing
even
that's
though there are
only thing
ruts
that's
and
working.
indentions in the surface, it all permeates through and goes into
Yeah.
the center drain.
Yeah.
That's the problem I think we'll see is if we pave it and you get ruts, then you're gonna have water standing in the street because it's got nowhere to go. It can't get into that center drain.
Well, I've
And-
asked
and-
the asphalt guys already about 2% grade and they said that's
Really,
typical and that's fine.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
as long as we can prevent rutting and potholes and
well, I mean,
That's-
that's what they're for.
That's what everything
what
pretty
they
much
do.
is designed at right now with streets that we're paving. Now up there where you live, Curly, those weren't built with any kind of, you know that, those streets were built flat, and that's
That's
why
right.
they're breaking down, and
Yeah.
we're having to replace some of those streets on the north side, but, yeah, it is a standard grade on there. But we'll get it, and, you know, the difference, you know, with the reason I say 100-year rain, LTAP has not updated their statistics since what, 2018 or something like that, on what a interpretation of 100-year rain. So not everybody's using the LTAP numbers anymore for that. And most of the engineers around here are using real numbers on the 100-year rain that they update themselves. And some cities use LTAP, which is part of Purdue group, engineering group. And hopefully they'll be updating those soon. But, you know, I agree with you, Curly. I mean, just knowing that the heavy rains we had a big one last spring. You know, I walked down through there and there were no puddles. It took everything out of there. I have no personal preference on bricks versus asphalt, but I think we need to be able to, when we have the discussion, not be closed-minded and say,
Right.
I don't want bricks or I don't want asphalt or whatever. I think we need to be saying what's most economical in the long run and will still do the job. All we need to do is get cars down through there at well, it's supposed to be 10 mile an hour, but they're probably 20 mile an hour. Get cars down through there and get the water away from the buildings. That's those two things at the most economical way we can do it, and whatever that is. I don't care.
I
I'm
agree.
not gonna talk about material. I'm not gonna argue material
No.
as much as I am cost and durability.
Yeah, I just want to see the options. I agree with you.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, we're all there. We have what we have. We have to work with what we have right
right.
now. So I appreciate your concerns and time into that, but we'll try to get some real numbers. I wasn't sure we got accurate numbers the last time. Having that revisited. So, all right. Anything else from any board members?
Where are we at on our roof bids for the street department?
I've checked with some of the contractors a bit, if there's been some reluctance to rebid it again. They'll bid again and try, but I think we have enough that we could rebid that again. And, this coming spring, we got to decide. I think if we bid it just as we did last time and give options. I don't know any other way of doing it than what we did last time. And we're discussing internally, how we're gonna pay for that now too. There could be there's some options, there are ways that we can. Whether it qualifies, we have to look at money available and see if that money qualifies to be utilized on the building. But I think we have the money to do it. 99% sure. And that's probably gonna have to be some accum fund, or we talked, you know, Tom gave me a couple different options. And we're investigating some others. Hopefully we can bid that out here in the spring again. Some of the contractors says they'll never bid again. They've spent too much time bidding the first two times and they're done. Because they've spent a lot of money developing those bids. That takes a lot of time. I think any options on any material, any options on, we should consider. So. Any other items? Did I hear anything from we have no citizens here today. Anything? I guess we have one citizen here today. It's here to listen. So I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So adjourn at 9:20 a.m. Thank you.
still live for a little bit. I would just text me that. My house, he's fine fishing for the 16th, but he asked me if he thought it would be okay if they went ahead